chops and karate chops were the same thing. I thought they were both pork chops. And because my grandmother thought it was cute, and because they were my favorite, she let me keep doing it. Not really a big deal. But one day, before I realized fat kids aren't designed to climb trees, I fell out of one and bruised the entire right side of my body. I didn't want to tell my grandmother about it because I was afraid I'd get in trouble for playing something I shouldn't have. A few days later, the gym teacher noticed the bruise, and I got sent to the principal's office. From there, I was sent to a really small room with a really nice lady who asked me all questions about my life at home. I saw no reason to lie. As far as I was concerned, life was pretty good. I told her, whenever I was sad, my grandmother gave me karate chops. This led to a full-scale investigation, and I was removed from the house for 3 days, until they finally decided to ask how I got the bruises. News of this silly little story quickly spread through the whole school, and I earned my first nickname, Pork Chop. To this day, I hate pork chops. But I'm not the only kid who grew up this way, surrounded by people who used to say that rhyme about sticks and stones, as if broken bones hurt more than the names we got called. And we got called them all. So we grew up believing no one would ever fall in love with us, that we would be lonely forever, that we would never meet someone to make us feel like the sun was something they built for us in the ocean. So broken heartstrings bred the blues as we tried to empty ourselves, so we would feel nothing. Don't tell me that hurts more than a broken bone, that an ingrown life is something that surgeons can cut away, and there's no way for it to grow. It does. She was 8 years old, first day of grade 3. We got moved to the back of the class and stopped getting bombarded by spitballs, but the school halls were battlegrounds where we found ourselves outnumbered. Day after wretched day, we used to stay inside for recess because outside was worse. Outside we'd have to rehearse standing still like statues, giving no clues we were there. In grade 5, they taped a sign to her desk that read, "Beware the dog." To this day, despite a loving husband, she doesn't think she's beautiful because a birthmark that takes up less than half of her face. Kids used to say she looks like a wrong answer you couldn't quite erase. But they'll never understand. She's raising 2 kids whose definition of beauty begins with the word mom because they see her heart before they see her skin. And she's only ever been amazing. He was a broken branch grafted onto a different family tree. Adopted, but not because his parents opted for a different destiny. He was 3 when he became a mixed drink, 1 part left alone, 2 parts tragedy. Had a personality made up of tests and pills, lived like the uphills were mountains and the downhills were cliffs for suicidal attempts. An adolescence of being called pauper, 1 part because of the pills, 99 parts because of the cruelty. He tried to kill himself in grade 10 when a kid who still had a mom and dad to go home to had the audacity to tell him, "Get over it." As if depression is something that can be remedied by the contents found in a first aid kit. To this day, he's a stick of dynamite lit from both ends could describe to you the way the sky bends right before it's about to fall. And despite an army of friends who call him an inspiration, he still remains a conversation piece between people who sometimes can't understand becoming drug-free has less to do with addiction and more to do with sanity. But we weren't the only kids who grew up this way. Kids are still being called names. Classics. Hey stupid, hey spaz. Seems like each school has an arsenal getting updated every year. And if a kid breaks in a school and no one around chooses to hear it, do they make a sound or are they just background noise in a soundtrack stuck on repeat? People say things like, kids can be cruel. Every school was a big top circus tent. Pecking order went from acrobats to lion tamers, clowns to carnies, miles ahead of who we were. We were freaks. Lobster club boys, bearded ladies, oddities, juggling depression, playing spin the bottle, trying to kiss the wounded parts of ourselves and heal, but at night, while the others slept, we kept walking the tightrope. It was practice. Yeah, some of us fell. But I don't want to tell you all this. It's just crap when we finally decide to smash through all the things we used to be. And if you can't see anything beautiful about yourself, get a better mirror. Look a little longer and stare a little closer because there's something inside of you that made you keep trying despite everyone who told you show and tell, but never told. Because how can you hold your ground when everyone wants to bury you beneath it? You have to believe they were wrong. They have to be wrong. Because why else would we still be here? We grew up learning to cheer on the underdog because we see ourselves in them. We stepped in a root, planted in belief that we are not what we are called. We are not abandoned cars stalled out on an empty highway. And in some way we are, don't worry. We got out to get gas. We're graduating members of the class of screw off! We made it! Not faded echo voices crying out, names will never hurt me. Of course they did. But our lives will always ever continue to be a balancing act. There's less to do with pain and more to do with beauty.